from Caesars Atlantic City, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trimmed with white. He weighs 228 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 30 victories, 24 by knockout with only one loss. From Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger, Shannon Briggs. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold, trimmed with red and green. He weighs 243 pounds. After capturing Olympic gold, he now has a professional record of 32 victories, 26 by knockout with only one defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, from East London, England, presenting the reigning WBC Heavyweight Champion of the World, Lennox.
Lennox Lewis, Shannon Briggs, WBC heavyweight title. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Joe Macy. Joe, I got to ask you, the look on the face of the champ, Lennox Lewis. You have been in these heavyweight stare-downs, these heavyweight showdowns, that moment, but have you ever seen such a singular focus where it's as if he doesn't even hear the crowd or his surroundings like what you see out of Lennox Lewis tonight?
I didn't even see him blink there, Joe, for about 6 minutes straight. I mean, he's confident and he's focused. And you could tell. Look at that.
Well, look at this. Referee Frank Cappuccino ordering Lewis back. And little inch by inch, Lewis backs into his red corner. You know what? That's a real pro move by Cappuccino, saying, I know you're two big guys that can do a lot of damage, but I'm in control.
That's the type of referee Frank Cappuccino is. And as a fighter, you got to respect that. The ref's there to make you feel safe, to keep you safe. And he wants you to know who's bossing them.
Early pace being set by both men. Of course, that jab from Lewis, so effective as it has been throughout his entire career. Tremendous pro career at 32-1. Of course, a wonderful amateur career. Lost in the quarterfinals, 1984 Olympics, stuck around, didn't turn pro, so that he could capture gold in the 88 games.
Very similar records coming in this fight, but you got to respect the fact that Lennox Lewis is probably has more experience because of the level of his opposition.
No doubt about that, especially when you consider the fact that it was just 2 years ago this month, in March of '96, that Shannon Briggs was TKO'd in 3 here in Atlantic City against Darrell Wilson. Lewis's resume is superior. Both men trying to work the jab. Briggs looks very good tonight. 6'4", a tight 228 pounds.
He did come ready. Looks very physically fit. Looks conditioned.
Of course, at 6'5" and 243, Lewis an intimidating physical presence in the ring. Shannon Briggs coming off of that controversial majority decision over Big George Foreman. Lennox Lewis, tons of momentum. It was back in October here in Atlantic City that he scored the first round knockout of Andrew Galata. Good steady work from the jab.
Shannon Briggs is a tremendous athlete. You can tell by a man that size the way he moves, the way his feet move. He's very athletic.
How does that athleticism overcome the perceived gap in skill?
And he's got good skill. He's lacking the experience that Lennox has. Obviously, we'll see what the rounds bring to us. But right now, Shannon Briggs moves very, very good for a big man. He's very elusive the way he slipped these punches right here.
Oh, and he catches him off balance, and Briggs jumps all over him. Briggs, a series of lefts and rights against the champ. Lewis covering up. Oh. Hey, that looked to be to the back of the head. Nonetheless, Briggs on the attack.
Lewis looks hurt.
He is. No doubt about it. Closing moments of the first round, and what a finish for Briggs.
Hey, McMillan.
Then he jumped on him, but it was in the closing moments of that first round. Lewis able to survive, and now potentially dangerous. You wake up the giant, you never know what's coming back at you.
This is where experience will tell its tale right here. If Briggs can stay calm now, utilize the fact that he did hurt Lewis at the end of the first, he may accomplish something.
Frankie Cappuccino being vocal here, trying to take control of the circumstances here in the second round. There's a combination from Lennox Lewis, and he does such good and consistent work behind that jab.
He certainly seems to have his legs back. I think Shannon Briggs in the past has faded early on in fights. He probably will try to pace himself a bit.
Something to look for here. More work from the jab from Lewis. He won this title with a bizarre breakdown of Oliver McCall. That was last February 1997. It was ruled a fifth-round TKO, but as you all well remember, it was venerable referee Mills Lane who stopped the fight just 55 seconds into that fifth round because McCall broke down mentally, began to cry, refused to fight, and Lennox strapped on the belt, trying to defend it tonight here against the Brooklyn Knight, Shannon Briggs.
Perhaps one of the oddest things we've ever seen inside the ring.
In a sport that has brought about many odd circumstances. That's a big one to say. But it was. You can hear Cappuccino complaining about the holding. Now, Lennox just pushes off himself.
Lennox with a very effective jab. Always had a great jab.
Briggs shaking it off on the inside. But the complexion and tone of this second round much different.
Another left hook by Briggs.
Briggs now fighting in spots, picked a good one here. Tries to crash home a few right hands. Lewis had that left up.
It looks as if Briggs is desperately going for a knockout. And I'm sure he's capable of knocking any man out, but after he lands a solid punch, he's aggressively going forward, giving everything he has to knock the man out.
Cappuccino asks, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? He's hoping not more of that, or he's going to have a very, very long night in between these two behemoths. More work with the jab from Lewis. He's settled in very nicely in this second round, with the exception of that 15-second offensive surge from Briggs, and popping well there. Both those punches connected.
Lennox is landing a little more at will now, a little more confidence in Lennox.
Hides that right hand well behind that jab.
Briggs has to use his strength and be more aggressive with the jab.
Round 3. WBC heavyweight title on the line here in Atlantic City. Lewis aggressive to start off the third round. Of course, with that 84-inch reach, easy to be aggressive behind that jab.
Lay it out on the line. Shannon Briggs has to lay it out on the line.
Kind of a risk-reward strategy.
You've been brought here to get beat. You've got to be very, very aggressive and give it your all. And you're going to risk a little more doing so, but you just might get lucky.
Who knows? Test that chin of Lennox Lewis. You were able to do it in the first round. You could cash in that lottery ticket maybe again. Boy, you look at these two guys in the ring, Joe Macy, and you see maybe that new era, that emergence of the super heavyweight. Big men, but big men that are athletes, big men that have skill with size.
It's true. I was really just going to say, you really get a good sense of how big Lennox Lewis really is. Shannon Briggs is a big man, 6'4", 228, and Briggs has got 3 inches on him. These are just huge, huge men, and athletic on top of it.
You stand next to Shannon Briggs, and you'd think that he's going to be putting on shoulder pads and a helmet to play defensive end on Sundays. Coming to the halfway point of this third round. Now on the inside, Cappuccino gives him a groan. They separate themselves, and Lewis with a short right hand, and then more work with that left jab. Tries to drive home that right hand. Boy, if you're bending down in the path of that right hand of Lennox Lewis, you're not going to last long.
He does have this great right hand. He's been successful with his right hand several times in the past.
Lennox Lewis, of course, coming off the KO win of Galata. Before that,
seems as if Shannon Briggs is breathing a little too heavy, being only the third round.
That's a good point, and it brings back analysis that you brought up very early on in the fight as to the fact that Shannon Briggs at times will fade. It's going to be a very long evening if you're already noticing that.
It seems as if his confidence fades as well as his physical conditioning. Sometimes he just slows down round by round. Hopefully that won't be the case tonight.
No, those two are attached. If you've done the work in the gym, if you've done the road work, if you're mentally tough, then you're probably going to be sticking around in the deeper water, Joe, right?
That's right. As good of a job as Lennox Lewis is doing tonight, you don't see him work the body that much.
A lot of jabs upstairs, and of course loves to bring that right hand, but a very good point.
But then again, he's pretty successful landing at the head.
It's not broke. Not much to fix at all with Lennox Lewis. Coming to the end of round 3 for the WBC heavyweight title.
Distract your opposition. Don't give them time to set up. Just keep throwing it out there, even if it's a lazy jab. Just be cautious they don't come over top of it.
Lewis starts quick here in round 4. Left hand swept across, and then a right hand sends Briggs back, and he held on to that top rope.
Lennox sees something now. He's a different confidence about him. He sees something in Shannon Briggs to go after. And I agree. I think the timing is right by Lennox.
Oh, Briggs stood right in the pocket, and he got lined up for a right hand. He stumbles back again. Good combination from the champ.
Straight right hand.
Briggs staggered here in the opening 40 seconds of this 4th round. Another right hand crashes home, and Briggs is down.
Great combinations by Lennox Lewis. Briggs didn't know what angle it was going to come from.
Going to be a long 2 minutes. Lewis, patient, still head hunting. Now, you brought up the fact he doesn't always go to the body. This would be a really nice spot to go to the body.
Briggs is breathing heavy, a little tired, confused. Great time to go to the body, but he's connecting everything to the head.
Look at that left hand of Lennox Lewis. Right near the head, almost behind the head. He's used that to tee up uppercuts in the past. A right hand drives home. Briggs, trying to steady himself, tries to return fire. What do you think of the legs of Briggs right now, Joe Macy?
They're weak and wobbly. He's just trying to defend himself right now and block what Lennox has to offer. But he's got weak legs and weak confidence right now.
Tries to come forward just a bit. Give him something to honor. Another right hand behind that jab.
I think Frank Cappuccino's watching very closely in there.
Still over a minute to go. Right hand over the top from Lewis. Briggs now, shoulder to shoulder.
Briggs just pity-patting in there right now.
Doesn't want to stay in that pocket, although Lewis right now, his pace has slowed, but he put forth so much in the opening minute and a half.
Oh, he's just playing with him now. The champ's just playing with him.
Let him out, Lennox.
Trying to give him a false confidence, but yet a left hand comes in. And all of a sudden, Lewis has his hands down. Another combination from Lewis. Oh, did he draw him in there? Briggs down for the 2nd time in this round.
Lennox acting as if Briggs can't even hurt him. He's just very, very confident right now. His hands are down, landing punches at will. Briggs very confused and very hurt.
Can he survive the final seconds of round 4? What a huge round for the champ. Lennox Lewis in total command.
What can you get?
Put your fingers up. So all the noise, I can't hear.
So right hand leads and looking good, okay? Right hand leads and more left hooks now, okay? Get that bucket, man. Right hand leads and looking good. Bring the bucket, okay? Take your time, baby. Take your time. It's your party. You're doing your thing, Lennox. You're doing your thing. Just put it together a little bit more.
In that fourth round, Briggs went down twice. The first one was devastating.
This left hook here, right here, just wobbles Briggs enough. He falls forward and comes over the right hand, putting Briggs down. That's a great, great right hand by Lennox Lewis.
Shannon Briggs, 30-1. Lennox Lewis, 32-1. But as we start this fifth round, two fighters possibly heading in different directions. Briggs tries to show a little heart, a little courage coming off the stool in this fifth round.
He's got to get whatever he has left here. He's lost that round so bad in the fourth. Come out here with a little aggression. Show Lennox Lewis that you're not hurt, you're not scared.
Four good solid jabs from Lewis. Briggs, a sweeping right hand that was blocked.
Lewis is completely confident right now.
Right hand scored. Briggs takes a couple big steps back.
Left hook.
And then that left hook comes in again,
hooks.
Joe. You called it. You said it sets up the right hand. It did it again.
Landed two successful left hooks right there. Nice hard shots right to the chin of Briggs.
What do you do if you're Briggs at this point?
Not much left to do. Defend yourself. Defend yourself. He's confused and he's tired, and Lennox Lewis is oozing with confidence right now.
And he's getting into trouble early in a round again.
Nice jab. Right.
Oh, the right hand behind the jab.
I don't know if he's going to get up.
Briggs is laid out. He is laid out just staring at the ceiling here at Boardwalk Hall.
He did get up.
He got up quick, but will he be able to weather the storm?
The right hands are just coming right over top by Lennox Lewis. Another left hook.
There's that right hand again.
Frank Cappuccino's got to come close as we look at this.
He's got to be taking a good look. Briggs is taking a lot. Punches himself down to the canvas after he threw that left hand.
He stopped the fight.
He stops the fight on what looked to be a slip, but nonetheless, a lot of damage from Lewis.
You almost can't argue with that stoppage there, Joe.
Almost as if Cappuccino was thinking about it, saying, I'm going to do it at some point, and he just chose that spot.
I think so. He didn't technically land Lennox, but that's a good stop. He's been down too many times, and it was looking like he was headed to be hurt.
And it had that look, Joe Macy, of a fight that wasn't going to turn itself around in any way, shape, or form.
No way. Shannon Briggs is not one known to get stronger as the fight goes on, and I think it's a good stoppage on Frank Cappuccino's part.
Well, back in November, it was here in Atlantic City when Shannon Briggs had the controversial majority decision win over George Foreman. No controversy tonight. That man was unstoppable. Lennox Lewis retains his WBC belt. The firepower started up in the fourth round, and it led to even more in the fifth round. Joe Macy, let's take a look back at just how Lennox Lewis was able to pull this off.
Right here, the first knockdown, a right hand over the top, right to the temple of Shannon Briggs. Geez, I didn't think he was getting up from this shot. Jab sets it up, very successful. Right hand right on the side, right in the ear. Shannon Briggs was looking away, looking down. Second knockdown, again with a jab, right hand over top. Lennox Lewis has one of the best right hands in the heavyweight division. He shows you there why that's so.
So fundamentally sound, too. Throws a very crisp right hand and sets it up well with the jab.
I think after the first round, he just saw something in Shannon Briggs. It gave him confidence. And Lennox was playing with him hands down and showing you why he's the heavyweight champion of the world.
And here's how it ended. As you can see, Briggs misses wildly with that left hand, goes down to the canvas, then the fight ends. But as we said, it looked like Cappuccino was thinking about it anyways. That just gave him a convenient spot to call it off.
Absolutely. It looked as if Shannon Briggs didn't have much more to offer, and Frank Cappuccino knew it.
And you got to think the sky is now the limit in the career of Lennox Lewis. He is now 33-1 with 27 knockouts. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Frank Cappuccino was a halt to the bout. The official time, 1 minute, 45 seconds of round number 5. The winner and still WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.